Hello, folks on YouTube. Sorry, Northstar here with another Hearts Iron 4. Got to Damarun, multiplayer Let's Play, US-Mexico. I'm US, Joe is Mexico, and I don't know, this series is really picking up a lot of viewers lately, so if you're new to this, welcome. We got as far as we're both going the communist paths of our country and U.S. As far as the NeoConfederacy rising up again, and the Midwest break off as the unaligned states of America, which I could have prevented, but if they get a generic focus tree, they'll add some build slots. And that allowed me to not run focuses and gain political power instead, which I've been trying to figure out if I wanted to assign a Navy specialist or I should probably just form the Asian section of my intelligence agency. Speaking of which, Joe,
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind. I had taken a look at stuff to try and figure out like where everyone was and stuff because I can't always remember. It looks like you were trying to get that second operative, right? And you were going through your intelligence agency upgrades.
Uh, yeah. I don't know. I don't really know too much about agency like upgrades or anything. I'm pretty new to this DLC.
All right.
How do you get a second agent?
Agent. How do you get a second agent?
Yeah.
So you need 5 agency upgrades to your intelligence agency. I think you have 3
Oh,
right
okay.
now. So you
Yeah.
really have
So
to, I mean, yeah, you really
I
want
just
to,
have to get more. That's all.
yeah, you need to do 2 more upgrades. I think I looked and you don't have the forum department yet. You don't have,
I have one portion of passive defense. Does that count as an upgrade as well?
yeah, everything
Okay.
there is an upgrade
I
and you
see.
could do some multiple times, but forum department's very important so that you can start getting decryption for code breaking. You can also send spies to steal ciphers, but you probably want to combine because a spy might give you 20% progress and then you're slowly gaining it from the forum department. You may do radio interception group upgrades later, but you want to at least
Should
probably
I form a
start.
department then?
What?
Should I form a department right now then? Because I haven't been um making any upgrades yet.
Form, you already have an intelligence agency. You have 3 upgrades. That's what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
mean the form department, the
Oh, you
upgrade.
said form a department. Yeah, the form department is an upgrade. It's a department to deal with forms, like
Ah,
code
I see.
forms.
I thought it was form as in like
No,
create.
as
I
in the
understand.
department that deals with forms, not as in
Ah,
a
okay.
not the verb to form, the noun form,
I see.
like forms and paperwork.
Ah, okay. All
The
right.
form department gives you code breaking, so that like if you get your hands on coded documents, they start working on trying to decrypt it. The
Cryptology. Okay.
big bads here, and I did do some looking around at the focus trees to try and figure out what was looking going on. The likely big bads are either Austro-Hungarians or Italy. It may not seem it if you look at the map just in their territory, but Austro-Hungary has a focus that can put a Habsburg on the throne of Spain if they're fascist or non-aligned.
Oh
So
yeah.
presuming, and it looks like, I mean, we should keep sending them weapons or whatever weapons uh, so they can hold out in Catalonia as long as possible, the Spanish Commune, but they'll probably eventually lose. Um, and when they do, the Austro-Hungarians will be able to take a focus to put a Habsburg on the Spanish throne. Um, and assuming Spain says okay to that, then they'll end up joining the Austro-Hungarian faction, which already has
Yeah.
Czechoslovakia,
That
Austria,
would
and
be
Hungary.
sizable.
The Habsburg Alliance, yeah, they can also do the same to Yugoslavia. Poland, and they can demand Transylvania. They can do Albania that way, and they can potentially split up parts of Yugoslavia into their faction and just conquer the rest, as well as very often. I wouldn't be surprised if Romania says no and they conquer the whole thing. So they'll eat up like everything north of Greece probably and Spain, and then they'll go to war with Italy, which will probably ally with Switzerland. So you can very quickly see that they can end up in
Mhm.
control of almost all Europe. It'll just be oh yeah, in Germany they can advance Silesia. So they can end up in control pretty much all of Europe except France, the Low Countries, and the Baltics, and form this kind of big mega faction.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's to worry about. The Turkish rump state could also end up allying with Italy or Germany if Germany ends up forming its faction, or the Soviets, or form their own independent communist anti-Soviet faction, which would
Yeah.
slowly turn them communist if they go that path. So there is that Turkish rump state is not negligible and can end up being the catalyst for some wars to try and take back their lost territory. Um, because Turkey was not finished off, and in fact they'll be more powerful in a way if they get their land back, because these Republic of Turkey, Turkish Socialist Republic, Protectorate of Armenia, they all have generic trees, so they'll actually that geographic area will industrialize quicker than if it was all under the central Turkish government. And then if
Yeah.
Turkey reclaims all the lost land, they'll actually have more factories, more build slots, like, and they also went all the way to total mobilization during their war, which did cause an economic collapse, but that debuff expires in September. Um, and they're going to remove disorganized armed forces, and they'll actually be able to sustain total mobilization while in peace, which, although they were stupid enough to get rid of
Oh,
etatism, which they actually have a decision that could have stabilized it instead, um, there's still going to be like very good economy law. They're under free trade. They could actually become very powerful if they manage to get back all their territory through the help of the Habsburgs or Italy. So
yeah.
what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a confrontation between Italy and the Habsburgs. And right now, Italy would probably win, but if the Habsburgs gain enough power, they'll win. And that's going to consolidate the two, into one faction, obviously. So either Italian or Hungarian led, there's going to be like an empire, and that's eventually going to be a threat. Sometime in like 42, 43, 44, we might have, a big transatlantic war going on with whoever basically overruns most of Europe. Maybe even finds a way into war with France, because I think Spanish directory can go to war with France. Uh, and they'll retain
Yeah.
access to that. I think they can also do it with Portugal. Embrace the Spanish destiny. Claim Aragon, which has them go to war with, yeah, France. Or it gets claimed. Yeah, no, conquer against Italy, and they gain claims on Corsica, Malta, Crete. Uh, Corsica, though, is a French possession, so retake the Americas. Yeah, they'll attack your faction. Um, the World Empire also serves. So yeah, it's entirely feasible at some point. Um, and then there was the issue of like what to do with Latin American countries. You can integrate. I'm not actually entirely sure that if you feed Panama these countries and they form Korea and Colombia, that you'll actually get um, that
Yeah.
you will actually like might be able to core all their territory. You might just form a kind of pissed off Grand Colombia if you take
Yeah.
like, or you might just have like non-core territories that you'd want to release as a Grand Colombia, I guess, at that point. It might be safer just to puppet countries, or better yet, uh, to force them communist and just bring them into your faction. The reason for that is spies, because the spy master gets spies based on how many nations are in the faction. And it may seem like I'm really focused on agent operative numbers, but there's a really good reason for that. That's like there's exponential returns. Like two spies is like four times as good as one spy. Three is like nine times. Like there's reasons. A lot of missions can't even be done without 2 spies, and some require 3. But if you want to have a 3 or 2 spy mission and still have someone maintain an intel network, then you want 4 or 5 spies. And if you want to be able to say spy in 2 countries in parallel, you can see, or to do some bigger things like boost ideology in several locuses in a country to try and do a coup, like to create another Spanish Civil War maybe to try and put communism in power there, or do it in France, which I think banned communism. Yeah, okay, that's not gonna work. But maybe Italy. They don't actually have much in the way of ideology drift defense. So yeah, there's things that can be done with spies. A lot of powerful things. Sweden is going monarchist route. Norway is like locked down most of their focus tree because they failing to go fascist. So you could probably do like a communist thing in Norway, but it's a big country, so you need a lot of agents to actually boost support enough. And you can steal
Yeah.
techs, like all these things are worth doing. And if you like, I know map painting is popular among a lot of people, but you're much better just like leading a big faction with a lot of independent countries. I mean, the absolute best thing would be to have a bunch of dominions, which are actually puppets at the highest level of autonomy because they'll still give you agents. But since when you puppet a country, they're a puppet and they'd have to promote their autonomy twice, that's just not going to happen. That makes the UK, it makes them stronger because they start with a bunch of dominions. But for anyone else, yeah, just
Yeah.
spreading the revolution may be the best thing you can do. And picking and choosing which countries you're going to do that and which for a while not. Um, Eventually you may want to kick Bolivia and feed them to Peru, and eventually um, force Peru to communism and take that one state that's east of Ecuador, required to do Gran Colombia if you are doing the Panama thing. If not, you can just forget about that. But the fascist countries get better recruitable population factor, and since none of them are like gonna have access to their communist tree, unfortunately, like which you give a spirit that gives weekly manpower, right? Um, Feeding some of the Peru can conquer Bolivia, and then they can core them. They have a formable. So
Yeah.
if you are trying to get more manpower, but if you're just trying to get more spies, you might just keep them both in your faction and force them both to communism, or even just keep Bolivia as non-aligned and Peru fascist if you really want. It's dependent on how much you want to kick countries and conquer them, and it costs political power to do all this, and how long we have to build up.
Mm.
Uh, Last but not least, I tried several times to get Nick to come and if he wanted to play with us a little, bring Nicaragua on their communist path. He's not biting, as far as I can tell. He keeps making what sounds like excuses. So they're probably. I did check. I think they're about to finish collectivist ethos, and they're probably, which means it's unusual. Non-aligned countries almost never do that, so they're either going fascist or communist. And I'm pretty sure the AI will go fascist because they'll look at those spirits for fascism and think it gives them manpower. But with a country with so little core manpower, they're actually much better off under communism. But they won't. They won't do it. So I don't know if I'll get the decision to. That's the other thing. Whenever a country goes communist, either because like someone puppets them communist or forces ideology, I can get a decision to embargo them, get 10% war support, and they can just cancel embargo for free. And that'll be useful. It'll let me like do industrial land appropriation, um,
Yeah.
which gives me extra belt slot in exchange for some more support and stability. So each nation that's done this way, I can get 4 extra belt slots basically, because 10% war support translates to 4 belt slots. They'll also lose 10% stability from doing that. So I have to run like raids and improve worker conditions. So yeah, that's that. And I'm um minus 28 days in radio interception grip. That doesn't even make sense. What? That's bugged. Um, but yeah, so did you, I don't know, did you start on it yet? Or are you foreign department, or are you going to wait a little? Or
I think I'll start with that upgrade.
Yeah. Um, I'd say probably suggest. What else? It's gonna start launch a couple offensives here on the Confederacy. Not seeing any resistance in the areas I really need to take, although. Ba, 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 ba. Mm-mm. Yep. Giving out a trait. So you were almost at your naval experience cap, right?
Yep.
And you already had radar patrols
Um.
for your Navy doctrine tree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you. It's gonna take forever to build a proper Navy. You might very well consider like an eventual emphasis on surface raiders and subs, because it's gonna be either like the Spanish trying to retake the Latin America, like what are we, Spain, or the Austro-Hungarians with Spain as a not as a kingdom within their empire. Either way, not a hugely strong naval power, but if, still more than you can reasonably build. So you may need to focus on like raiding any convoys and just defending your coastline. So trade interdiction might actually be a good doctrine to be with for a while. And the
Yeah.
reason I mention that is you might want to grab to avoid overflowing. You might just want to grab down the line of those. You already have, yeah, raider patrols will help your heavy cruisers, which you have one, you're building a second, but you're probably doing destroyers later. So if you go down the middle line, that will get you at convoy selling some destroyer organization.
Yeah.
So you might grab that, and then there's either sub line, or you can go back down on the left side capital ship line. So those are things
Hmm.
you might want to actually grab Navy doctrines, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, what else? And I've been talking for too long here, people on YouTube. And no, geez. All right. Well, strategy doesn't hurt to start, but let me pick a song. The tour. That'd be a good song to play in a sec. Um, oh, your construction queue.
What was that?
Are you multitasking or something?
No, you just cut
Oh,
out.
oh, audio is great.
Yeah.
Typical Discord. So that your construction queue. I'll turn up the audio a little because maybe it just
I'm building uh a civ factory right now.
yeah. But I noticed in Veracruz that you're doing infrastructure like, or you're starting on uh like I think what was it you had Veracruz infrastructure under the work before the Mexico City factories for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, things go down the. I don't know if I explained this. If you're new, down the construction queue from top to bottom of the list, so like that will make your factories, if you only have one line, do the infrastructure first. And infrastructure provides zero benefit until you're actually working on factories in Veracruz.
Yeah.
So, but it's too late to spelt milk and all that. You might try once you finish the factory line. I think you were doing one in Durango or something, or Jalisco or Sonora. You were
No, just Veracruz and Mexico City right now.
what was at the top of your
Besides the
construction
fact,
queue?
Oh yeah, yeah, Jalisco. I'm building a. I'm about to finish a factory.
Yeah, and I think there's the number is 2 there, right? Or do you already have it's the last one?
Nope, that's the last one being built.
Uh, yeah, ships take forever and yeah, I mean, dealing with that, especially if we like wait to see what happens in Europe and don't intervene too much too early, I might consider, so you have time to build an actual navy. I might consider with Veracruz uh, doing the infrastructure and then queuing up a naval dockyard. Actually, like you don't have to do all like Civ, like adding one naval dockyard and reduce the number of Civ factories by one, and
Yeah,
maybe getting that like done, like even before more factories, just to get a little more navy production going. I think you have. Do you have some destroyers in your production queue, or is it just the capital ship and convoys?
yeah. There's some destroyers there.
Yeah, it's like on a limited number of cheap destroyers. Are you just doing one at a time, or
Yeah.
oh, sorry, that was a question. Is it one at a time, or is it an unlimited number?
Oh, I've got unlimited 3 in parallel. Should I change
Ah,
those to
I,
1?
I I see. Yeah, so that it'll do one, then the next, so that you don't like have it do like six, and be a
Yeah, I
reminder to
see.
yourself. I see. Yeah, that makes sense. And so you consider, yeah, you can queue up more modern ones part way after one of them. Yeah,
Okay.
without just yeah, but yeah, I may maybe get another dockyard because you'll need a navy eventually, and that's also trade addiction lets you recruit admirals who are Seawolf right off the bat. So there was
Yeah.
that. Um, I might even stick with trade interdiction for quite a while because there's a nice advanced sub warfare, 20% extra HP um, on uh, on subs. So um, in terms of overall like things you can do with the doctrine tree, the trade interdiction is like actually better for like traditional non-carrier based fleet combat in many ways than base strike. It's not as quite as good as fleeing being, but it has some nice sub bonuses. So if you're using subs in your mix, it can be really good. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, and there's even something at the bottom of the line for that. But I do have some carriers. I just probably won't be building more anytime soon. I was trying to figure out what I should do for my next doctrine myself. Hmm.
So how many of these should I buy, do you think? So I've got 440 naval XP.
Hmm. I'm gonna just grab combo interdiction. I do have a lot of subs that'll just be doing skirmishes. How many should you grab for doctrines?
Yeah.
You could just pick like one for now and then adaptively figure out what you're gonna do later. I mean, since you're probably not gonna actually see any naval combat, it makes very little difference now.
Yeah.
But like when you actually get to war, you'll want to obviously spend the XP. So,
All right.
uh,
What line should I start working my way down first?
hold on a tiny bit. Da, 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 da. All right. Sorry, I was grabbing some Navy stuff myself. Convoy sailing and convoy interdiction. Um, sorry, what were you asking?
Which one should I start picking up first? Like what order should I go in?
The doctrines?
Yeah.
Uh,
Should I get
it well, the middle will down to the second one will. the second one will give you better destroyer organization, convoy sailing. And the one before that will give you better naval targeting if you're using naval bombers to like. So you probably want those. Those would be great for dealing with the Spanish in the Caribbean.
All right.
Um, the rate you already have raider patrols, so unless you're gonna go capital ship raiders and battle fleet concentration, to make your heavy cruisers, which is technically um, coastal defense ships or heavy cruisers. And the fleet size penalty can benefit you too. So yeah, I mean it's kind of up to you. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I want to discuss, and God, we got to get going with the actual gameplay or people on YouTube. Australia, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Australia.
I took a quick look, but while New Zealand and South Africa are going fascist, looks like Australia is going its alternate democratic path, where they try and ally with the USA.
Oh yeah.
Um, that does lead to a preemptive strike on Japan,
Hmm.
but never another place. Southwest Pacific Area menace. They create a faction. Australia gets Venezuela as a global leader. It'll lead, though, they'll try and woo me, and that'll lead to them becoming favorable to be invited into a faction. So I could create a faction with them, since they'll be democratic once they like me enough, um,
Yeah.
or if world tension goes high enough, or they could, or join their faction and go to war with Japan if I wanted. I was figuring probably not, because Japan will beat up Manchuria, and they're not really a threat since they went communist. But it's something to keep in mind for later. There's the possibility of using that, um,
Okay.
and striking while the iron is hot before. Otherwise, Australia will probably attack Japan and get the rear handed to them by Japan, and then there'll be a communist Australia. So that's another possibility. Japan might even liberate Papua New Guinea as a puppet, which should make it a lot more valuable and mean no more non-core nonsense, and the Solomon Islands. So actually, that'll create two new nations. It's probably better to just let them die, but I just thought I'd point that out. Things. Anyways, other than that, I guess this folks on YouTube have marked a lot of ships obsolete. These are only ships that are really modern that here that I might actually make use of. Let's be sticking probably with destroyers for a good while. I'll have the tech for Broken Cruiser. It's got heavier guns, but it uses more steel, and I'm already importing steel from the Midwest, or need to. Actually, I think temporarily not while I'm doing a lot of naval repair dockyards. So I'll probably just create a version of the fleet destroyer that has gyro stabilized mounts once I have that in 7 months. But yeah, I'm good to go, I think. Or I may have missed something. But oh yeah, text. That was the last thing. Technology research. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So with technology, you were asking like what techs do next, and you're talking about advanced machine tools. That's probably actually the right thing after construction 3. So you were right about that. After you finish concentrate industry, the very day you finish it, you can grab improved infantry equipment, whatever let me tell you the exact name of it, so I don't mess this up. Improved infantry equipment 2. It'll be a little bit ahead of time, but the reason you want to do that is so that you can use your military budget review tech boost to infantry stuff to get the rifles 3 ahead of time, like when it gets a little closer to 42. I think that's a 42 tech. Yeah, that's 1942 tech, and you can like grab that in like 1941. Probably started on it like in March of 41 or something. And because the double speed boost, it won't be that slow, even though it's like ahead of time. So that'll allow you to
All
get
right.
assault rifles before most of the world. So, but if you don't grab the infantry equipment 2, the very day you finish concentrate industry 3, then you'll get that tech boost, and then you'll end up using it on improved infantry equipment 2, and then you won't have it for the next tech after that. So that's why I suggest doing it that way.
All right, as soon as my next tech is done.
Yeah, base cost 220 days. 220. It actually is the same, but yeah, as soon as you're yeah, as soon no, not as soon as your next tech. As soon as concentrate industry after construction in 3 that you're working on, you can just grab advanced machine tools.
Oh, okay.
But after concentrate industry 3, because that'll complete 1 day before your focus, so the timing is perfect. I checked that and I was like, oh, that's perfect timing. You don't even have to worry. Just
That's funny.
don't miss a day. Like when it says you completed the tech and it'll give you a pop up, just respond to it immediately. Pause the game if you need to so you don't miss it. That's all.
Right.
All right,
Are you
cool. Oh,
sure it's?
what?
I think it'll finish 1 day after.
No, it should be 44 days to your current tech is done. I mean, your focus is done, and 43 days on the tech. Right? You're 26 days
Uh.
in on,
Oh no, you're right. You're right.
yeah, should be 44 and 43 days. So, all right.
Yeah, I thought it was 45.
Yeah, keep a close eye
Okay.
on your divisions. You were right apparently. I don't know why I never saw this bug myself, but there is a bug with it that was fixed, but we can't update because it's not safe compatible.
Oh
With
yeah.
sometimes divisions pulling themselves off the front lines for no reason. So that's what you were experiencing, I
Uh.
think. I saw
Okay.
that in the latest in the shoulders patch
Hmm.
update. So unfortunately, we're stuck with that. But just keep a close eye on your divisions and what they're doing. Make sure you're not accidentally telling them to go off, but they might be doing it on their own. I'm going to
All
be
right.
really carefully watching like what's going on with my pushing into Confederacy. So I'm just going to be very focused on that. And I'll also have like naval skirmishes. I went and drew up all these battle plans off camera and set a bunch of naval missions. So there's going to be all these like small skirmishes against like Confederate subs, and I'll have to make sure I don't have like my destroyers end up in a fight with the main enemy strike force because then I'll need them to retreat because otherwise I'll lose a bunch of ships for no reason. So, all right, on pause if you're good, or I
Yep.
wanted to let you know I'm about to. Okay, I have to watch this like
That's
a
fine.
hawk because hold on, let me really quickly pause to make sure I I let the general like execute the plans. I just want to make sure everyone's moving in a logical place. It'll only take a second. Uh, why is he not advancing? Unit's organization is too low. What? He has 37 organization. How is that too low? All right, well, most of my divisions are advancing. I guess it's better they don't like decide to advance stupidly. Some of them are not. I guess it's fine. Ones who lag behind, maybe I'll just strategically redeploy in. Why is Patton not advancing? Oh, boy. So yeah, some of my divisions are not advancing because they don't think their org is high enough, even though I set to aggressively execute plans. And there's literally no enemy divisions that should be getting in their way, so they should just be going, and they won't. Shit.
Manually micro them.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, but that causes immediate issues with like
Planning bonuses, even when they
planning
don't try.
bonuses, but then also they can do weird things if you manually micro them and certain. I'll just
Oh,
let it go.
right.
But I know where the issues are, so I know what to keep an eye on. Figures as much, and I set some divisions to finish. Ooh, training. Just finished radio interception group myself because I'm trying to get my next operative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I should be start recruiting my next agent now. Yep, in 29 days. Uh, cool. I went into code breaking and operative training really heavily. Oh yeah, did you when you finish foreign department, you'll have to choose a nation to start code breaking on. I'm focused on Italy because
All right.
I figured I knew they were a threat. I didn't realize Austria-Hungary could just take focuses to bring all these nations to bully them into their faction and put like Habsburgs on the thrones of everywhere, or I might have done Hungary. Although the problem with Austria-Hungary is like it's not just one nation as a threat, but I'd have to break the codes of every one of the member states. So if I were you, I might try start code breaking on the Spanish directory when you get the foreign department. So
Oh, Spain. All right.
yeah, because they might end up in the Habsburgs, or they'll go for you in your faction.
Yeah.
They're a
Yeah.
more immediate threat to you.
That's true.
I'm gonna decline all these nations that want to send me volunteers. Britain, all the communist nations, they won't go and help the Spanish Commune, but they're all too willing to send me volunteers. I don't get it. Trotsky wants to send volunteers, Japan, and the British. And I think the French will probably ask as well, even though they're democratic. And
They're probably programmed only to help the Republic.
yeah, well, no, the Spanish Commune has the Republic tag. So anything that targets the Republic should target them because that was the direction that I remember we chose the drop down for them to go their Spanish Commune path. I think we did, or maybe it just happened randomly, but they have the Republic tag. So
is it that they sent volunteers to the Republic and then the Republic lost and they just didn't
that was the case with the Soviets because they're hard coded to send to the Republic as in the Democratic side, but that is not the case with anyone else. Like no one else. Like it doesn't make sense. Britain and Germany should both be sending volunteers to the Spanish Commune. I think Germany might be hard coded to help the fascists, but Britain at least should definitely be. It's probably that Britain and France are programmed to stay neutral like they do in theirs, so that historical games work correctly. Yeah, I think that's what they do with making sure historical games do their thing.
All right.
How many factories do you have on construction queue available right now?
Oh, probably not. 6.
6. Okay, yeah, I'll keep buying oil that I'm not actually getting from you then. I thought I canceled the steel purchase. Great. There goes a couple factories for no reason. Just buying Midwestern steel I didn't need while I'm doing repairs. But yeah, I'm gonna cancel. I mean, I'll keep buying oil that I'm not actually getting from you and tungsten just to give you a couple more factories. Limit economic aid for a little while. Because you get factories that you like. If it was weapons purchases, if I was buying like weapons or something from you, it would go through the surplus capacity. But this way, you get actual factories.
How do I have negative oil?
You don't have negative, just have 0.
No, it says -7.
What are you talking about? -7? You mean on the top bar next to your factory count?
And in the trade screen, logistics screen, there's -7 oil. Maybe it's messed up.
Are you hovering over? Hold on, share your screen. But I'm pretty sure that should never. Yeah, if you share your screen, I'll take a look. I don't understand what you're saying, so.
I have negative oil.
Could just be that you're using some and you're not bringing any in, or it could just be because I'm trying to buy 8 from you and you don't actually have any.
Oh.
If you hover over it's just the exports. I'm trying to buy 7 oil and you don't actually have it. It's not.
I see.
If you hover over the thing next to your factory count on the top of your normal screen, fuel, I don't think it'll tell you that you're like losing oil for some reason.
I'm not losing gas, no. But I don't have any oil. Shouldn't I have oil?
No, you don't currently control any of the oil producing states that someone else doesn't have resource rights on. So.
Oh, shoot. I guess there's Tamaulipas, but that's still occupied by the junta, mostly. So I don't know. Do I get the resource rights as soon as I occupy the province that the oil's in, or would I have to occupy the whole state?
Do you get the resource rights as soon as you occupy the province in, or would you have to occupy the whole state? You just need the control, you need to officially control the state.
Oh, I have 2% control, so that's why I'm not getting the oil.
Yeah,
Okay, never
you
mind.
don't control the victory points in Tom Lupius, so you don't actually control the
I
oil.
see. All
Monterey
right.
is essentially what controls the oil there. Monterey and
Ah,
San Luis are victory points that represent control of oil fields.
yeah. I see. All right.
Hmm. Cool. I've got all these acts of Congress I can do that. Sorry, I'm just taking a quick look, making sure I'm not missing something. Tuition Navy Act, done. Women's Armed Services. Yeah, highlights the things that affect congressional support. Full desegregation of the South. Worker Management Act. Oh yeah, I should. Yeah, I'm gonna guarantee the American Dream and go for the Worker Management Act at some point, soon-ish, but not this moment. Okay, this is checking what I'm doing with focuses. So just trying to clear notices, and it's telling me I don't have focus assigned. I'm like, yeah, I know I don't have focuses assigned. All right. Oop. I've got a combat going on. 3 battles. Yeah, this is going to be slow for a little bit because it's just chaos with a front this big. I mean, the United States is huge, and there's an insanely large amount of territory that needs to be, contested. And it's just rough like that. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, there's actually some Confederate divisions that popped up in Tennessee.
Oh,
How am I
he has
winning? They
organizer now.
outnumber me. What?
My jungle rat has organizer now.
Oh, those are tiny divisions. That's why. He got an
Um,
organizer. Okay, that's
should I
probably
give
the
him?
last earned trade he ever gets because everything else will be at really slow rate if he already has jungle rat and
Yeah,
organizer. What
probably.
were you asking if you should give him?
Um, he can now be given logistics wizard, fast planner, thorough planner. I have 120 command power. Should I give him anything?
How many available upgrades does he have? Hold on, just if you
Let's
share a
see.
video, I'll take a look. Like what?
All right.
Because I'm curious, and my brain, I did my best to be as energetic as I could by this time of day, but with my long COVID today, I've had headaches and just had trouble thinking clearly. I have good days and bad days, not my
That's right.
best. Oh yeah, he's got 1 upgrade remaining at his current skill level. Uh, Hover over his portrait over there on the army tab to see if he's got.
He's almost got engineer. 77%.
Yeah,
50% towards
engineer doesn't
mountaineer.
come with anything but scavenger, and I mean, unless you really wanted to hold off that to capture a little more equipment, that's probably not going to be relevant. This guy is Haldoro Chariz. Yeah,
Did
you're
he
probably
change
gonna.
his name?
No, that's what he's
Oh,
always had.
I
Uh,
guess I closely.
yeah. So most of those traits aren't active if he is just a general. Does he have an advisor role? If you scroll up on his traits, you'll see if he's got nope, no obstacle role. So unless for some reason you wanted to like appoint a chief of the army later, which I would not suggest, I'd probably do logistics wizard because it gives him a nifty ability that he can actually use as a general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give because those planning speed and bonuses won't be active as a general. Only as like if he's leading an army group, and he's not.
And
Jungle Rat is, I mean,
colors.
you got Kalas doing that right now, and he's got defensive doctrine, which benefits the whole army group. And his harsh leader penalty is cut in half when he's a field marshal. Like it only affects divisions half as much, which minus 5% division recovery rate is not a big deal. 10% is a much bigger deal. So you know, very
Did he
often
only give him
five.
0.5 attack? Is
Plus,
that the thing?
he
Oh
gets
no,
plus
it's
one.
sorry. That's to his abilities. Never mind.
+1 attack skill, minus
I see.
10% division recovery rate. But
Yeah.
yeah, Kelez is he's cool. He's the previous leader of your country, and he's a field marshal. He's pretty skilled. But yeah, the jungle rat, I would give him logistics wizard because you've had
All right.
constant issues with your logistics. And if you're
Oh
pushing
yeah.
into Central America later, it's going to be even worse. Uh, I wouldn't give him anything with that right now. What does your officer corps look like? Not this. Your the little hat. Yeah, you don't have anyone
This.
assigned. So eventually, if you click on the military high command thing, do you have oh, Albrito? Well, so you do have an infantry guy available, but your jungle rat could eventually you could assign him as a specialist, and then it'll rank up to expert when he reaches skill 6. So that's probably what I would do to save political power, because that guy he's
Oh
like
yeah.
a civilian, so he can be on the military high command, but he'll never level up. But your jungle rat is an actual military leader, so he'll reach expert just when he reaches skill 6. So I wouldn't do it right now unless you really just want to get out of the way. But it doesn't
How much does it cost?
5 command power.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean either way. How is you what? Let me take while I'm looking at the screen here. Your junior officers still only 98 for the top one.
Yeah. Now we're 93 actually.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, I guess I would
There.
just do the infantry guy then, because the only other alternative way to just sync command power, since it doesn't make sense to promote people so little experience just yet. The only other way is to promote admirals, which I mean, sure, but you're not actually doing any naval combat, so it doesn't really matter right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I would give the guy the command the role, just so you know you're going to use him that way later. The jungle rat. You can assign the officer corps role of infantry
Fun.
specialist, and then
Infantry.
yeah, you don't have to do it right
Right.
now, but then you spend the command power now, and then later when it's time to actually like spend 50 political power to promote him, like into the actual high military high command. So when you do that and you click OK, because you already have a chief of the army. So, but if you go there, now
All
you'll
right.
see
Cost 50.
he costs half as much political power, and he'll be just as good as the other guy once he reaches skill 6.
I see.
So it's a way to save political power by promoting someone who's less skilled but who will grow into the role instead. Um,
Gotta
and
get
since
this before I hit my Army XP cap.
yeah, you won't hit that remotely soon. Your Navy XP you might, but
Yeah, but I can. I've got this. Oh wait. I could open up Mountaineers and start filling that out. I
you don't
guess.
have a special forces um, branch specialization. I think when the
Oh,
a
I don't know
calendar
how you
year
get
hits 1941, you'll get a decision to expand the
those.
special forces. It's a lot behind game year. I think it shows up in 40, but you can't take it until the year is until January 1st of 1941. And some nations have a focus to give them a branch specialization, but Mexico doesn't have one, I don't think. Nations that have a focus can end up getting all 3 branches. Nations without can only end up getting 2, and only after 41 can they get their second. So you're not going to
Oh,
be
okay.
able to do the Mountaineers for quite a long time. Um,
Then I'll have to spend it on Army blueprints or whatever it's called.
Doctrines and also equipment upgrades. Don't forget you can sink so much Army XP into upgrading
I only have
Army
one
equipment.
doctrine left.
Yep. But equipment upgrades, like when you get you don't have them now, but when you get mechanized, you can spend a bunch of Army XP to just make the mechanized better. Like there's trade-offs, but they can balance each other. So like you can easily sink hundreds of Army XP into mechanized models.
Yeah.
And there are a few other things that you can make improvements to like that, but mechanized are the most important by far. and that's in addition to tank designs and infantry template changes. So you won't you I don't think you'll have issues with Army XP, but your Navy XP, that's the one that,
All
especially
right,
if you're doing exercises after the war, you'll
I can fill
eventually.
this document out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to do it now. There's no reason to do it now, and there's no reason not to either, I guess, except that you might want to go to base strike at some point, and then you won't have the Navy XP. So I
Oh, I
just, as
thought
long as
Fleet
you,
and Being was.
yeah, sorry, fleet and being. I said, God, my brain, I meant fleet and being. I meant the left
That's
side
right.
Navy tree, and I said right side by accident.
That's okay.
I mixed up my left and rights. You're
Yeah.
not the only one who does that. So,
Oh yeah.
all right.
Girlfriend does it all the time.
I mean, it's just my brain being weird. So, actual
Yeah, it
combat's
happens.
occurring. The Confederacy, I haven't suffered a single casualty yet. Oh, that's interesting.
Really.
Yeah. They've
Nobody
taken
died.
268 losses, and I have taken zero.
Wow.
France is sending me Lend Lease. 89 convoys are required to bring over the stuff. They're sending me a
Wow.
ton of equipment. Oh, yeah, that's the other reason. And folks in YouTube, I meant to explain this, forgot to explain this. So, not only do I have division templates that have support companies, so having a bunch of extra infantry battalions that are fully trained, even if they're not fully equipped, will add org to the battalion and make it fight a little better. The spearmen, however, it can overwhelm logistics. Like here in Kentucky, I probably should have used smaller divisions because I don't have enough supply. But the AI will send you on lease if you have a lot of under equipped divisions. So that's part of something to keep in mind. You could actually potentially do the same thing, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could um, intentionally create a lot of under-equipped divisions so that you'll get one lease. I don't think you're considered a major yet, so the AI won't bother sending you one lease yet.
No, no, I should be. I have a faction, right?
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah, but for some reason I don't think Austria or Hungary was considered a major, which made me think that maybe you weren't.
Hmm.
Oh no, it is Transleithania. It's a major. Okay. So yeah,
Oh,
you
Austria.
could.
Yeah. You maybe you checked like Cisleithania.
Yeah, I think that's what it was,
That
and
might
they're
be it.
not a major, but that's because the
Yeah.
faction leader is
They're not in
Hungary.
charge.
It's because of my other game where I'm also doing the U.S. Austria decided to
Yeah.
form the Habsburg Alliance or decide to go, but they haven't formed their
Yeah.
faction yet, is what it is. So they're still minor.
Ah.
Uh, so they still get called Cisleithania if Austria decides to bring back the Austro-Hungarian Empire instead. But
Yeah.
it yeah, but then its capital is in Vienna instead of Budapest, and it's more. They have different focuses, but they still rebuild, get the shared focus tree and everything. And I think it locks Hungary out of doing it if Austria does it. So
I see.
yeah, since there's like two different since either nation can bring back the Austro-Hungarians, it occurs twice as often as before Austria got a focus tree. So
Oh, makes sense.
yeah, uh,
Does Hungary ever integrate these junior partners or vassals?
yeah, very late in their focus tree. Just like Brazil eventually can integrate
Okay.
nations that they're in their faction, but they don't do it till
Yeah.
really late game, which is I
Mm.
think I overemphasize the danger of that, and it's not actually that much of a danger until
Oh yeah.
pretty late. Like you could bring them into your faction. I wouldn't because they'll take over leadership of the faction. They're just so much huge. They got so much manpower and industry
Yeah.
that they're just too big to. I wouldn't bring them in until you've like integrated a lot of Central America and have the extra factories and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I should do that. Should
uh,
by the way, should I be doing that soon, do you think?
no. I mean, they're gonna need to do their industry. You're gonna want to do their industrial focuses. So if you did it now, you'd just either be puppeting and have to spend an insane amount of political power to integrate the
Okay.
puppets and waste industry as well, or you would make them
So
an
let them
independent
sit there
communist
a
country
little
and need to
longer.
declare war on them again later. So I wouldn't bother. Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador is the first focus, and Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. Hey, you might actually like Costa Rica is actually got got a tiny population. I was gonna say you might consider forcing ideology on Panama and Nicaragua, keeping them. But the first three, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, you probably want to integrate them. They're not too far from your capital, but I would wait. I would wait until they've done more of their industry trees and build up your own industry. Because keep in mind, they have the ability to fight you. They're not like, you know, Nicaragua's got the strongest
Army
military, so the second focus has you march Nicaraguan beyond, but the Nicaraguan divisions are actually better than yours and will actually put up a real fight. In El Salvador, I checked, they're doing grand battle plans, so their division's trench warfare. Hang out in San Jose, like, it looks like it says plains, but I think it's part mountain. That can happen where a province is like 50% plain, 50 mountain, and actually there are terrain penalties that you don't show. But even if not, there's a
Where?
jungle. What?
Where?
San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica. I
Oh,
think it might be one of those provinces that's actually considered to be partly mountainous, even though, because it looks like there's mountains here, even though it says it's
yeah.
plains. Or
Yeah,
they
that
may
is
have,
weird.
or they may have gotten rid of that. It may have been only an older version of the game that would happen. Um, but there might be terrain penalties, and even if they're not, they're going to be doing trench warfare, and you're going to have to either fight into a jungle or fight across the river, and they're going to be entrenched. So you're going to suffer heavy casualties, especially with the supply situation down there.
There's mud there.
Oh yeah, it also gets muddy very often in plains. So
Hmm.
my point being is Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama are going to be much harder to conquer than Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. Um, so yeah,
Yeah.
but you may consider putting that off until later. The second set especially, but the first set even they haven't done their industry trees yet. So right now they would be worth less to you. And you
All
got
right.
industry stuff to do yourself with getting your Navy focuses for the dockyards.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, One of the things about Navy, I'm checking on fights while I'm saying this. I'm not doing nothing. The AI, this is smart. The AI is rush cavalry to the areas I'm marching into, key areas. Just act as delaying forces while they bring in infantry reinforcements. That's like actually a solid strategy. Surprisingly smart. I cannot blame the AI at all. They're behaving very intelligently with very limited. They have to know they're gonna get their ass kicked, but they're actually putting up the NeoConfederates are putting up. They haven't assigned generals to their armies, though. That's dumb. Or well, strategy might be solid, but not assigning generals is stupid. Uh. Oh yeah, sorry. I'm like all over the place in my thoughts. What was I saying?
Um, Integrate Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras after
Oh.
I get my stuff. After I get my focuses.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was
Or
saying after military
what
budget
what?
review in the heroic military college, there's your Navy thing, so you can get your
Yeah,
Navy MIOs and extra
yeah.
dockyards. And the thing about
It did already.
dockyards is you don't pay consumer goods factories on dockyards like you do on
Still get
military
paid.
factories. So if you're running a military factory, you're gonna for every 5 military factories, you have a civilian factory. It's just doing consumer goods, and then on top of that, you're gonna need to import like steel to actually make the equipment, right? So
Yeah.
it slows down your civilian snowball a lot. But dockyards, you only need to import the steel. You don't have to worry about the consumer goods. And if you're building destroyers, they don't use very much steel. So plus, there's a long lead time on your navy.
All right.
So that's what I'm saying. You probably want to get your dockyards, and that'll cut down your civilian snowball a little bit. But you need to start building ships, and then you probably want to get back to doing like other things like tech boosts and what
Oh, I
else
was
would you
gonna get worker militias though while I was still at Atheist State, right?
Yeah, but it's gonna reduce your stability by making your
Or
ruling party
communism.
popularity go down even faster. And on top of
Yeah.
that, you're gonna have to do anti-communist raids, or else you're gonna get like events once they make up more than half of the support, and you're not communist, then you'll start getting like events like
Oh.
increasing class consciousness, and if you weren't already in a civil war, you could get a civil war. So
So I'm not getting enough, and I'm not getting enough democratic growth to prevent that from hurting.
Not once you do the worker militias. It'll stabilize it exactly 50-50 without the worker militias, but if you do worker militias, it'll
Oh,
flip the balance of power towards like 2/3
I understand.
communist, 1/3 democratic or something.
So
Or
I don't
maybe
want to
more
do
like,
worker militias until I'm ready for Party of the Revolution.
yeah, I would hold off on the worker militias for a little longer. Um,
Right.
at least
And
grab the heroic military college first because
as soon as I take as soon as worker militias is done, I have to end my civil war so I can research Party of the Revolution.
yeah, but you got Navy focuses to do
And I'll
after
have to
then.
make sure. Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I might consider doing some of the left side military things to get your Navy MIOs and to start building ships and
Yeah.
do the heroic military college, and then you can go and do
Right.
worker militias because there is that event you get eventually that boosts that lets you strengthen the church, and you probably
Oh yeah.
want to do
Eventually.
work. Shoot, actually,
That
doesn't
or I
that
can
occur?
save.
That occurs
Sorry.
in like,
What?
sorry, I just remembered that occurs in like September or November of this year. So actually, you might need to do the worker militias next because that event might come as soon as September.
Hmm.
I think it's like a mean time to happen, but it happens in late 39 of fall of
Oh.
39 if I remember from my other game, which is on YouTube. I could have gone back and checked the video if I remembered to
Well,
see
I'll
when
either
that fires, but I
I'll either have
didn't.
to spend the stability to transfer lands to the church, or I'll have to spend the stability to keep doing anti-communist. Sorry, not stability. Political power. To keep doing anti-communist raids to stop from getting over 50%. So I feel like I'm gonna have to spend political power either way.
Yeah, but um, I'm saying you don't want to be in a situation where you're reducing your stability before you're getting benefit from it because you get less political power income. Like you're gonna have to do the work emojis eventually. So yeah, I might
Yeah,
do them next just because of that event. Because transfer lands to church takes 75 political power, and you're already gonna have to do it once. You
yeah,
don't want to have to do it twice. That would be even worse. You know?
that's true.
Or well, no. If you got the vent after, yeah, because you got the vent, you no, the vent would obviate the need to transfer lands to church. What am I saying?
Yes, yes, it would.
Yeah. So that would save you 75 political power if you took the choice. You can either weaken or strengthen the church in the event. It'll do nothing to weaken them since they're already atheist state. But if you might not get the event if you're already atheist state though. I could be wrong. It could be that the event doesn't fire unless
Oh
you're
yeah.
somewhere in the middle. So you might never get the event at all. But yeah, you could do the worker militias next. Is what I'm saying. You might be a smart
All
idea.
right.
Might someone more knowledgeable than me would have to answer that question. Basically, because I
When
don't know of the events like the back of my hand. Some people do, not me.
do if I flip communist, will I be able to stay on war economy longer, or how much war
Oh,
support
you
do you
can
need for war
stay a
economy?
war economy as long as your war support, as long as you're either in a war or your war support is over 50%. That's all you have to do to maintain it. Like
Okay,
I
so
checked.
going communist won't make it stay up longer, though, as
Uh,
opposed to
if
fine.
you're communist, you can maintain it with. Uh, no, even communist lets you go war economy in peacetime, but you still need a 50% war support either way, or else you get a strikes event. It's on a
Oh,
mission,
okay.
and it gives
So
you
it
120 days to demobilize, or else you suffer like really bad strikes.
I
It's the,
see.
but that's tied to war support. It's actually got nothing to do with whether you're
Yeah.
communist or not.
So wait, if I
And
was non-aligned and I had 58% more support,
you could stay in
or
war
uh,
economy. You couldn't go into
even if
war
I was at
economy.
peacetime?
Yep. Like Turkey is
Oh,
at full total mobilization right now, and if you were to tag over them, I did off camera to check what was going on because this gave me information about you, and I knew you would ask this question, right?
yeah.
If you were to tag over Turkey, they're at total mobilization and they have a mission to demobilize their economy, and the mission like cancels if their war support goes over 80%. Like even if
Okay.
they're at peace, as long as they have 80% war support, but they won't get their war support over 80% before they get the strikes. It's worth noting they're at 35%,
So
and in September
should
it'll
I?
go up to 65%, but it won't be till they remove disorganized armed forces that they reach 80. Sorry, what?
So do you think I should? Because here's the thing: to flip communist, I have to end my civil war.
The
Should
only
I
benefit.
declare war on Guatemala and end the civil war so I can flip communist and keep my uh war economy? Or
Uh,
should I instead just try to grind a base value of 50 war support?
um, I would just keep your civil war going for a while. The thing with
Okay.
there's no benefit to flipping communist to you in practical terms. The only thing it really lets you
Yeah.
do right now, there's exactly two things that would let you do really. One is switch your quick improvisation for a spirit that gives you weekly manpower if you valued manpower more than manpower. And the other thing is it would let you
Probably.
declare war on other countries. Right now you can't declare war because world tension is too low, and you need
Oh,
50%
really?
world tension to yeah, you can't
I can't
justify.
declare war on Guatemala right now?
Well, actually, you might be able to declare, but you can't justify wars until world tension
Oh,
hits 50% if you're not
if
aligned.
I but with March southwards, it'll just give me war goals, right?
Yes,
So I
I
don't
don't
even have
know
to
if you can use the war
okay.
goals yet, but you can't manually justify wars like on Texas or for Florida.
I
Remember I was
see.
talking about that?
I
So you can't
okay.
start justifying to take Florida from the Confederacy until you're
Oh, right,
communist.
right, right.
That's the only real practical reason to rush the flip. Other than that, it affects
Okay.
obviously relations like the Soviet Union and stuff, but
Yeah.
and whether
Okay.
they'll send you lend
Oh,
lease and stuff like that.
yeah, it'll
But
help me get Paraguay in.
yeah, it'll make it easier to bring Paraguay into your faction, and you're not you're not improving relations with anyone right now, right?
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah,
No, definitely not.
yeah. So I would save the political power anyways for stuff. I don't know if you could. Uh,
I should probably grind war support anyway.
yeah, because you'll eventually need it at some
I'm at
point. Although
49 stability and 58. So
let's
yeah, I should
see,
probably work on
it's almost eight
prosecuting clergymen
percent.
and assassinating Costeros.
Let's see here, 30% base. Defensive war plus 20, but that'll go away. World tension will
Yeah.
give you up to about 38. That'll get up to around 40, not too long. You don't need to grind that much, but you should have a little. I was gonna say you could assign a pride of the fleet actually for war support if you really need it. You might not want to do it on your existing capital ship because that thing sucks and you're producing like a better one already, and you're probably gonna retrofit it. I think with better components when it's done. That coastal defense ship.
Yeah.
That's the other reason to do dockyards is you get that ship done, you can make it the pride of your fleet. That'll give you 5% war support. It's a
Oh,
modifier, so that goes on top of
nice.
the base war support, which means that can help you have like 100% war support even when you're in offensive war. For instance, even if your base is already 100%, it won't. Um,
Oh,
Modifiers are an overlay on top of the base war support, and you get a
I see.
5% from pride of the fleet. Like, I start with one, but you don't. I think it's free in terms of political power, but you probably shouldn't do it again because that ship sucks and is very like it's garbage, and you probably want to do it to the slightly better ship you're producing. It's still garbage, but you should be able to get that done. And like once you add additional dockyards to it, it won't take too long. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'll pause again. Uh, just keep an eye on where your divisions are because I'm very busy keeping an eye on where my divisions are, and I can't do everything at once,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So,
I'm watching them.
oh,
So I
there's
can.
the event. The Second American Civil War. History repeats itself. Tensions in the United States have come to a boiling point. Unhappy with the policies of FDR, the legislators of several U.S. states have voted to secede from the Union. Any hopes for peaceful resolution of the conflict have been dashed, and hostilities have broken out all on the front. It appears that the majority of the government has decided to stay with the legitimate government. Reports show a surge of volunteers all across seceding states. Maybe the Confederacy got more volunteers at that event. Ah, Trotsky is sending me Lend Lease. Looks like he sent me artillery pieces, and I'm not sure. I think that's some kind of tactical bomber. Let's see. Yeah, because all these countries are going to be like sending me all this stuff Lend Lease. Ah, it's fighters. So Trotsky sent me some like very low tech, like some biplanes and some artillery, and France is sending me rifles, artillery, and some more biplanes. So garbage fighters, but
Yeah.
they still do provide air superiority just as well. Like in uncontested airspace, they'll still give enemy give debuffs to the enemy. Let's see. I'm doing some tactical bombing out in Nashville, but that's where most of the fighting is. Yeah, I'm doing air superiority in the eastern seaboard just to slow down Confederate divisions marching north. Because if they're marching and not strategic redeploying, they suffer a speed penalty from enemy air superiority. And just to discourage them from attacking, because they got divisions that are finishing their training and still entrenching there. Plus, I don't really control any air bases. They're well situated yet. For the one I need is I don't control yet. For controlling Appalachia. Anyways. Where do I have Oh, I have all these Why do I have fighters in Panama doing nothing? Alright, I guess I'll do a little air superiority in Appalachia. Alright. Alright, on pause. Tell me I have... Oh. I have fighters in Honolulu, too. Sorry, the U.S. is so big. And I have, like, all these fighter wings I completely forgot even existed that are doing nothing, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. I made the stupid mistake of Ranger the Saratoga. Isn't this... Is there a way to move... This is too many air wings on one. This ship is overcrowded. Hold on. I don't know if I can transfer air wings from one ship to another if they're in the same place. What a pain this is. No, I don't want to go to New Jersey. Yeah, sorry. I'm having issues with my naval aircraft. They're all trying to land on a single carrier instead of spreading out, and then that carrier has overcrowding penalties. As our forces advance in Tennessee, they've come across a large number of sympathetic citizens who have long harbored hidden sympathies towards us. Swept a wave of patriotic fervor, they've asked to join our military. I can get 2 units. I think this is only 6,000 men, or I can integrate them into the army and get... Hold on a sec. These guys aren't even... Ah.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Can I undo what I just did? Because if I wild dress him, bring him over here. Oh, but
Okay, I see. That rebalanced my nav, but it didn't, not in a way that was smart. It put some on the Saratoga and some on the Yorktown. God, what a pain. What an absolute pain.
the dead leave no bones. The blood smears of steam makes.
Whatever. Yorktown's my most advanced carrier. These are fighters. Naval bomber. They don't look the same. Ugh. Sorry, probably no idea what I'm complaining about, Joe. I'm just having issues with my naval aircraft and balancing it correctly, and
Yeah.
I'm never gonna achieve it.
I don't have manpower to fulfill our garrisons. Oh. I have to garrison Tennessee? It's not just... Okay. I lose all my corps in the Civil War here. And the front lines are chaos. Hold on. This happens, unfortunately, when you draw lots of micro lines and you take a lot of land very quick. Like, where are the divisions even placed?
And I need scopes.
That's there. Alright, I'm gonna just delete and redo some lines, so it's just too much chaos. I can't figure out what's going on. Oh, is your girlfriend playing Wildermyth?
Wildermyth?
Yeah, I heard something about armor. I'm like, that sounds like Wildermyth. But
She says she's obsessed with it.
it's a really good game. I used to play the heck out of it. I a little overplayed it and lost a little bit of my fervor for it, but it's still a very good game. So.
Yeah,
Also,
it's fun.
folks on YouTube, I've got a Let's Play series of that. Check it out if you're interested. What? No. There we go.
Oh, there's so many chests he used to give.
And give me a second. I have to redraw battle plans. Some of the divisions just weren't moving anywhere, and some of them moved places that I did not tell them to go. I feel your pain before, Joe, where you were having this happen. I'm going to create some slightly larger fronts because the AI is going to give me grief. Let's see. Hills, forest.
So are you going to draw out the Civil War at all?
Yeah, I'm going to push him back, though, and take some states back, and then I'm going to... I have decisions to reintegrate those states to get my cores back, which I can take, I think, even during the war. Let's see.
You going to take Virginia?
But hold on. Reintegration. Yeah, I can do it while I'm still at war. So I have to occupy these states and, like, I'll get resistance, so I don't... I'm going to slowly march south, and I'm going to reintegrate them and march south. And I'm just going to methodically do this, and meanwhile, they'll be adding, like, build slots to some other states, so it's fine. Although those build slots might not stay around because I lost my cores, but the non-aligned states are definitely adding build slots that won't disappear, so even if the Confederacy slots all disappear after the war, I have reason to draw this out, just so the Midwest will develop more. I'm just gonna.
Keep standing the fire. Oh, fire, I will die. She will die.
What? That's gonna not work the way I want. There we go. What are you idiots? I can just imagine if I was like a general, like yelling at some junior officer, "What are you doing, idiot?" I don't know. I think I mentioned I was an ROTC at one time. My temper was a little short, even for short tempers are actually not appreciated in the military. I'm sure anyone
No,
who's watching this is ever, yeah, no. Like
unless you're
MacArthur
like a
was,
drill sergeant.
even the drill sergeants, it's an at. It's all an act with them. They don't actually have short tempers. They're actually possessed of great patience at certain times. When they need to show patience, you see that patience, like
Yeah.
appear. Drill sergeants are, it's all an act with them. Don't, don't let the act fool you. Uh, hmm. Let's get air. 7 days. Okay, yeah, they're strategically redeploying. Sorry, I'm telling some of my men to strategically deploy because they're marching long distances in the heat and suffering attrition just because it's so damn hot in the south right now.
Yeah.
All right, I've got like,
You,
even if though I didn't order all my offensives to go right away, I've still got like multiple battles and multiple offensives all happening at the same time. It's a pain. This battle's gonna occur for the next 60 days? Really? 6-0. Whatever. I didn't expect to take Dallas this soon.
wow, Mexico is colder than the South right now.
Is what?
Mexico's colder than the Confederacy right now.
Oh yeah, it's really hot. There's a heat wave in the American South, and the worst possible time for going on the offensive.
Yeah.
Because heat affects troops they're attacking, like gives them attrition. It doesn't really affect defenders. So presumably because they're in the shade and they don't have to like charge across fields in the hot sun.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
got some idiots that decided to march into. I don't see any. They're not even defending Texas. They're just like. I don't see any Confederate divisions opposing Penn's marching into like Texas, and they're just letting it happen. So, all right, let me unpause and see what happens here. Yeah, hold on. How do I rearrange the order of these windows? This is annoying me. Oh, there we go. Maybe that does it. An hour and 23 in the YouTube, so I'm going to cut this. Folks in YouTube, I will see you later. I will continue pushing towards Dallas, and the Battle of Little Rock will proceed for the next. That one will be over soon. Anyways, take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. And may always find a guiding star lead you home. Adieu.